Welcome to the week 1 reflection vlog of my final major project for media studies. What I thought we'd be doing this week is going through the choices we've been given and creating our own rough ideas on what we wanted to do for each. Researching to the background of what each of them mean, like the way each of them are structured, so like how short film can have different narratives, linear, non-linear, how narrative music videos are set out on the rules, you have to follow the 7 rules, and then looking into music festivals and how people advertise them. How I prepared for this week was doing a little bit of research before it started, so that when I came to it, it wouldn't be harder to do it all, because with this project you don't want to fall behind on it, or else it could mess up the order in which you got to do everything, well, not got to do everything, want to do everything by, which would then affect how organised you're being throughout, because organisation is key. And I thought the week went as I thought it would, because all that really happened in lesson was each lecturer spoke about each part, other than the festival bit. We had to do it in our own time, I believe, because that's what I did. They told us, like I was saying, the 7 rules of a narrative music video, and we're showing examples of it by David Bowie, and the different videos he had done throughout his lifetime, and what kind of the different ways it could be perceived, and why that's important. And because of that, it was easier to make my own rough idea on what I wanted to do for a narrative music video, but I don't want to do that. But I'm going to come up with rough ideas for each one, just in case the one I want to do doesn't go well, so I have to fall back to another one. And yeah, I feel like everything went as expected throughout the week. And like I was saying before, each lecturer was talking about each area, so we learned a bit more off of the rough, very basic research I'd done before, and they gave us a more in-depth understanding on all 3 of the choices we have, which is now easier for me to understand and actually decide properly on what I want to do. What went well throughout the week, I want to say, is the amount of detail that I've gone into in my research and rough ideas, because like I say, it's like the most important bit. It's like the foundations of the work, and if you don't have good foundations, you're not going to have good work. So if you want to keep that up, you got to if you want to have good work throughout, you got to keep the foundation strong. So maybe you can fall back to the starting plans, which are the foundations of what you want to do. So I think my research and preparation for this was good, and I am so far not behind on anything. So hopefully it can stay that way, so I don't have to panic last minute for everything. I want to space everything out on what I want to do, so nothing can go wrong, touch wood. But if I was to do all of this again, I'd probably say I would maybe even do a bit more research. Like, just like I was saying, like, you can never have enough. There's infinite amount of information you could have. I'm sure there's bits that I don't know now that will probably be helpful for me further down the line, which is why I'm still adding more research to it, because everything will be important. Like everything about all three of the choices will be important at one stage or another. So the more research, the better. But then even so, I think I've got a decent amount of research now to help me. And with the lectures that we're given, the information that I've now got written down, typed up, will help me any stage really. But other than that, I don't think there's anything I could have done differently really. I could have maybe started it a bit earlier, but even so, wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Maybe giving myself like a whole day dedicated to it outside of college. I'm doing bits and bobs here and there. So rather than doing them little bits every now and then, doing it in like one big chunk so it all sticks together better, if you know what I mean. So it stays in your head. And that'll probably be easier for me to remember it than if I do a big chunk at once. So hopefully I can improve upon that in the next week when we're going to be doing like the treatment and everything for our chosen idea, and proposal and everything. The long-term implications from doing all of this, though, I would say it's organisation has been a big factor of it. So because I've been more organised for this later on down the line, so if my long-term goal was to be a cameraman or something, if I had to do things like risk assessments and that before I started filming wherever, having all of the preparation being ready and organised for them kind of situations, I would be better at, because I've been more organised here, and the knowledge I got from research, from the lecturers about these the three topics, I could use that if I was to do any of the three again, like professionally rather than like a student. Like this is, you could say it's like a practice run kind of thing for when you do it as a career. That's serious, like serious business, because you're getting paid to do something. You do not mess up at all. If you make mistakes now, you can at least fix them later on. So I think it's being able to learn from your mistakes now, so then you don't make mistakes in the future because you're more organised and prepared for them things. So it would help me when I potentially become a cameraman or editor or whatever I may be. The organisation is very key to everything, and I think that's been one of my strongest points this week, being able to keep things organised and being able to reflect on things if I had done them wrong as well, because at one point I was researching, going off a bit on the short films, and researching more into films, which it's good looking at normal films, but that's not what we've been set to do. So just sticking to one thing and keeping your eye on the prize kind of thing. So don't stray off. So yeah, I just think organisation. I need to make sure I stick to, like, focus on one task and don't sway off to another or anything. Just stick on task and stick to deadlines, which I have been. So I don't see there being any issues in the coming weeks. Thank you.